How's it going, everyone? Equinox Phoenix here, and today we're gonna talk about Trails of Cold Steel for the PS4 and I believe PSP. Anyway, it's the game I just finished playing on Twitch. Link in the description down below if you guys want to follow me there. I play video games every day at 11 a.m. Pacific, unless something happens, in which case I'll announce it in Discord. Also linked in the description. Now, Trails of Cold Steel is the 6th game in the Trails of series for Legend of Heroes. Of course, it's also the first game I played, and I didn't play all of it on Twitch. I played just the last 3 chapters, so chapter 5, 6, and final chapter. I don't know why I didn't just call it chapter 7, but it is what it is. Now, Trails of Cold Steel has you playing as Rean Schwarzer, the adopted son of a baron. I believe he says in the prologue he has no noble blood in him, which I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Obviously, some things are, they have to be said. You know, I'm trying to talk about the game as much as I can, but with as minimal spoilers as possible. I may or may not succeed. Forgive me if I don't. As you play as Rean Schwarzer, as I said. Now, the game follows the story of Class 7 at Thor's Military Academy. Obviously, you know, Class 7 comprises of Rean Schwarzer, Elisa Reinford, who introduces herself as Elisa R because of problems she has with her mother, which we find later on. Laura S. Arcade, Fee Clausel, Emma Milstein, Makis Regnitz, Eustace Alberea, Gaius Warzel, and Elliot Craig. And their teacher, Sarah Valentine. Now, obviously, we go through their adventures both through school in Thor's Military Academy as they go on their field studies and whatnot, as well as exploring an old schoolhouse, which we see in the... I don't know if... Do we see it in the prologue or in the first chapter? We see it in the prologue, which is where we, like, gather together and we get... And, obviously, you know, the game ends where it ends. I won't spoil the ending. I'm gonna try and not talk about that too much. Excuse me if I keep sniffling. I have, like, really bad allergies and it's a little chilly. Hold up. Hopefully that takes care of that for the duration of the video. But yeah, obviously we go through their first year of school. They are first years. We go through the first 6 or 7 months of their... we essentially go through from beginning to end of their of the school year. Of their first year at Thor's Military Academy. It's a military academy, obviously. They're teaching them how to fight, and gameplay mechanics wise, this game is it's a turn-based JRPG. It's your classic JRPG. It's turn-based mechanics, more or less. A lot of times you'll like hit multiple times, boom, 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 and then the monster will hit. Sometimes you'll hit, one character will attack, and then the monster will, then the other 3 will, because your party is a party of 4, and then 2 to 3 supports, depending on where in the story you are. In battle, you have arts, which are essentially spells. You have regular attack, which is to use the weapon they hold, different weapons they have. Then you have crafts, which are weapon techniques, for lack of a better term. Then you also have S-crafts, or S-breaks, as is also called in the same HUD UI. They're called S-crafts and S-breaks. If you go into crafts and press, I believe, R1, it switches, or L1, the L and R1, it'll switch and call them S-craft. But without picking from the options, they're called S-breaks when you press triangle, which is weird. Or maybe it's support crafts. I don't know. But the S breaks in and of themselves are like ultimate techniques. These are techniques that do massive amounts of damage. Now, of course, we don't get the S breaks immediately. Like, you're not gonna have 9 to 11 S breaks. Obviously, 9 to 11, because throughout the story, other people are added into your class. Actually, 2 are added to the class. I won't name them. Go find out yourself. Play the game. Find out yourself. Play the story. The story is great. And you don't actually need to play the first 5 trails of games to get the story. They give you a pretty good foundation. Supposedly, by the time you get to 4, you need to have played the previous 5. I don't know. I don't believe that. I only own the first 3. 4 isn't even out internationally. It doesn't come out until October. The end of October, actually. But yes, you don't get the S breaks until at differing parts in the story. The story. So I believe the first one you get is Laura's. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know you get the others like at least 1 per chapter after you get Laura's. And of course, in each chapter, you're gonna have to, the old schoolhouse you visited, and you have to go through that each one because you're going through all the floors, and the story is kind of linked to it. So the S breaks are like, they do massive damage. I remember the final boss took, I won't say how many the final boss, but like the final boss needed you to use them at least once. The final boss was actually like really strong and powerful, and I'm just like, oh dear, this is some final boss level shit, right? Like, you can tell it's the final boss. And then you have 2 other like mini bosses after them, and like, or was it 3? I don't remember. You have a couple mini bosses after that because it's not like, because the story continues after the final boss. It's the game is kind of, it's unique in that aspect. I'm mentioning it because this game is very unique in that aspect. Usually the final boss is, that's it. That's the final boss, game over, couple cutscenes, and that's it. Credits roll, and you're done. No, this had like 3 mini bosses afterwards. Yes, 3. You have to fight 3 mini bosses afterwards. I think it's 3. It might be 4. It's 3 it's 3 or 4 mini bosses, and then the story ends there. I call them mini bosses because they're not like, they're pretty easy to do if you like fight correctly. Obviously, if you fight incorrectly, you're just gonna get bodied. Whereas opposed to final boss boy, he's kind of like, even if you fight correctly, this is a final boss. And I really need a better camera because I keep, phasing out. I keep turning into the Flash. That's pretty much the only way I can describe it. Like, when I wave my hand, I'm not moving my hand very fast. Like, I can still see the movements with my bad eyesight. But on the camera, I'm the Flash. I'm the Flash vibrating his hand. Anyway, that's not part of the game. Anyway, tangents aside, what would I give this game a rating out of 10? I would comfortably say this is an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Mainly because it's a port of a PSP game. And as such, it doesn't have like a skip cutscene option. And I lost my save. I lost my save of the first 3 chapters, so I had to redo them. And I couldn't skip the cutscenes. There's no skip cutscene option. There's no way to skip through the cutscenes or dialogue. You have to turn on the turbo mode with L2 and then hold circle to speed through the dialogue, which it's not like an instant, oh, there, you're done. It just rapidly goes through the dialogue, which not really a major fault, but at the same time, I have to also judge it as it's just a PSP port. At the end of the day, it's an HD remaster PSP port. Like, it's at its base, it's a PSP game. So I have to judge it for that, but still, they could have added it in it. Like, obviously, I'm saying this from someone who, it's been years since the game came out on the PS4. It's been at least 2 years. It's been 1 this September since the 3rd one came out. So it's been at least 2 to 3 years since the first one came out on PS4, if not longer. It came out after the PS4 Pro because it has a 4K option. Like, the game runs in 4K. It says as much on the box in 4K 60. So if you have a PS4 Pro, you get pretty good resolution. But yeah, overall, story-wise, game mechanics-wise, everything minus the not being able to skip cutscenes. That'll forever annoy me. Like, if a game as easy to handle as Fire Emblem Three Houses can have a skip option, a PS4 game should have it. But at the same time, yes, it is a PSP game, so give it some leeway. Which is why I say it's an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Now, if you played the game, tell me what you guys thought of the game down in the comment section down below. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe for new. I will see you guys next time. And as always, stay bright.